Morning, everybody. This is Pastor Mike with a word from Nehemiah 13:19. As it began to grow dark at the gates of Jerusalem before the Sabbath, I commanded that the doors be shut, and I gave orders that they should not be open again until after the Sabbath day. And I stationed some of my servants at the gates, that no load should be brought in on the Sabbath. Nehemiah was written at a time after the Babylonian captivities. Prior to this, God had raised up the Babylonians in power to come in and to judge Judah. They destroyed the temple, they destroyed the city walls, and they carried everyone off into captivity. Now, after 70 years, God is allowing his children to come home. And so he sends them back with the command to rebuild the temple, to rebuild the city walls, to make God the priority in their life. And we take a look at books like Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi, the book of Ezra and Nehemiah. All these books focus on this time period after the Babylonian captivity. But if you look at them, you'll notice real quick that Judah failed epically at reestablishing God as the national focus. And so Ezra comes back after a while to help rebuild the temple and reestablish temple services. And after Ezra, Nehemiah now returns. His main focus is to rebuild the walls, but it's during this time that he's back that he sees that the temple services are still not being conducted properly, and he sees that the Sabbath is not being honored. And so he rebukes the priests, and he gets tithings brought back into the temple, and he gets sacrifices conducted once again. And he now addresses the issue of the Sabbath, and he goes and he closes the city gates on the Sabbath day to make sure that nobody comes in. Why was this important? What did closing the city gates accomplish for him? Well, what it did was it prevented these worldly influences from other nations from coming into Jerusalem on a day when they should be focusing on God. So he closes the doors, he keeps everybody out, and he commands that they honor the Sabbath. He's doing everything that he can to help protect Judah. So what does that mean to us? We don't have a temple. What are we protecting? Well, we are the temple now. We are the ones that God's presence resides in. And the question is, what are we doing to protect our temple from the worldly influences around us? What safeguards are we putting in place to ensure that the world around us is not infiltrating our hearts and not taking our focus away from God? Or are we doing anything at all? Are we trusting that one day a week when we go to church is enough? Are we putting our hope in the prayers that we utter before we eat? What safeguards do we have in place to make sure that the world around us is not drawing our focus away from the one that we should be focused on? And with that, I will say, God bless you all. Build up your walls, and we'll talk more next time.